Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday with Infinite Glory. I am Lihle, and today's my turn. Look, a while back, I was tasked to do something by the Lord, and I told him, I said, no, I don't want to do it, and then about a week later, I went back to the Lord and I said, you know what, Lord, I love you, and I don't understand why I don't want to do this particular thing for you. And the Lord said to me that, every time you fail to do anything that I tell you to do, you must understand that that is actually a love problem. Your disobedience is a love problem. You have failed to love me in that particular area and to surrender yourself in that particular area. That's why you're struggling with it. And so my nugget of wisdom that I want to share with you today is titled, Your Disobedience is Actually a Love Problem. And our first scripture reading is going to be taken from the book of John chapter 14 verse 15, which reads, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. And so here what the Lord is saying is that basically the Lord's love language is obedience. And so when we fail to be obedient to the Lord, or when we are disobedient, that is a sign that we haven't yet loved him the way that he needs to be loved in that particular area, right? And we know that the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 8 that love never fails. And it continues to say, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be restrained. Where there is knowledge, it will be dismissed. So basically, anything else can exist. But if love is not there, that particular thing will cease. And so even with our obedience, if we are obedient for the sake of doing it or because it's the right thing to do, at some point it is going to cease if it is not empowered by obedience, right? So your level of obedience will show how much you actually love God, right? And so now we all know that love comes with sacrifice, right? And when the Lord gives us instructions, some of these instructions that he gives us go against our egos, against our flesh, and just against our desires altogether, right? But that is where the sacrificial part of love comes in. Where you do something that doesn't really go well with you and it simply doesn't, it just doesn't feel good, right? And so because love is present, the sacrificial part of love will make that particular thing possible for you to do, right? John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only begotten son. That was sacrifice for him. It wasn't easy. It wasn't nice seeing his son on the cross filled with sin, but love made it possible. Love made it possible for Jesus to hang on that cross, feel all the pain that he had to feel because he loved us, right? If it wasn't for love, he probably would have been on some, as in, this is too much, I'm not doing this anymore. But because he loved, the cross was made possible, right? And so instead of working on your obedience towards the Lord, you should rather work on loving him, right? And how do we do that? You spend time with the Lord, just like how you love a regular person. You spend time with him, you read the word, you spend time in prayer, you just spend time getting to know him. And once you get to know him, the love builds, the love grows, and therefore obedience becomes much more easier, right? And so the tough things that the Lord asks you to do become possible, not easy, but they become possible because they are now empowered by love. So your disobedience is actually a love problem. And so if you want to work on your disobedience, just work on loving the Lord. Pray more, read the word more, speak to him more, engage with him more. I hope that helps. See you, everybody. Cheers.